Do you not know? Have you not heard that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit? The Holy Spirit which is in you, whom you have received from God. You are not your own. You were bought with a price. Therefore, honor God in your body. Our subject today in the kingdom is a controversial one: organ transplants. Now, they've been available to us for decades. I remember when the first heart transplant was made, Dr. Christian Barnhart, but he used an artificial heart. That was the big thing. They could create an artificial organ. After that, they started transplanting live organs from other humans, and now today from animals. But what does the Holy Spirit say about it? Well, the Bible, understandably, is very silent because this wasn't available when the Bible was written. My video on the tree of technology of good and evil kind of spells things out for us. We are living at the end of days, and all things are possible with man. But all things are possible with God, and He has no additional consequences. But you run a risk when you let man do God's work. Psalm 139, we're all familiar with that. You were created, for you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. My frame, my temple, my body was not hidden from you when you knitted me in her womb. It was a secret place, and my parts were woven together in the depths. Your eyes saw my unformed body. Before that body was formed, God envisioned you. What you would look like, what your personality would be, what your hair color, your eye color. Of course, a lot of that is wrapped up into the DNA of your parents. But God, you don't look exactly like your siblings. You might resemble them, but God saw you individual. Even identical twins are individual. Jeremiah writes in chapter 30, I will restore you to health and I will heal your wounds. And the Lord is not limited by what the wound is. Is the wound from an incident where somebody hurt you? Or is the wound from a failing body part, a disease, a sickness? God doesn't limit His healing abilities. Why do you? Why do I? Why does man? But as usual, we run to man for our solutions. And man is very willing to put you on a wait list to get somebody else's body part. Do you know what you're signing up for? 89% of all organ transplants take on the personality of the donor. If the donor had an addiction, the recipient 89% of the time will develop that addiction, even if they didn't have it before. I had a personal friend, very close friend. His liver failed because back in the day, he used drugs, and then he developed hepatitis. And over time, the medications were not working anymore, and the only thing left for him, according to the doctors, was an organ transplant. A liver. And he wanted me to pray that God would find a donor. I was so conflicted, yet I wasn't fully persuaded in my heart yet about what God could or would do. So I did pray for that, and in retrospect, I'm sorry, but he did get an organ transplant. A young woman, 26 years old, who had died. Now that's a healthy liver in most cases. After the transplant, he started having strange thoughts, behaviors. It continued to the point of he was having suicidal ideations, thinking about killing himself. He had no reason to. He loved his family. He never had such a thought, even when he was failing with a diseased liver. But now he did. I encouraged him to find out more about this donor. And he found out that this 26-year-old woman did, in fact, commit suicide. I want to share with you some insights, just one of many reports about organ donors.
Around the world, hundreds of organ recipients have reported disturbing experiences. France, 2005, a woman is haunted by vivid images of her donor's death in a car crash. Croatia, 2006, a lumberjack develops an obsession for domestic chores after receiving a kidney from a dead housewife. Georgia, 2007, a man given the heart of a suicide victim kills himself in exactly the same way. Are all these cases coincidental? Or is it possible these people have acquired traits from the dead? Professor of Neurology Dr. Gary Schwartz has been researching this phenomenon for the past 15 years.
There are now enough of those cases available to justify saying this is a serious possibility.
Dr. Schwartz is the co-author of a paper that analyzes 10 real-life case histories in which transplant patients claim they have acquired personality traits from their donors.
What would Yeshua do? Our Father, Papa Rapha, the God who is our healer, desires to restore all things. And I bless you today with learning to know Him. Be close to Him. Don't run to man to fix these problems. Man can't fix these problems. It's a temporary abatement, is all. In the kingdom, all things are possible to them who trust.